Hey YouTube, it's Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, here with a little eDrums update today. I'm going to be talking about some of the projects I have going on, one of them being this hybrid acoustic electric kit that I have behind me that you may have seen some videos on. This was is a Tama Club Jam flyer set that I converted to electronic, and I have a couple other things that I'm working on here too that I wanted to show you guys. But before we get started on that, I just wanted to mention today's sponsor, which is DistroKid. DistroKid are an amazing company that can get your music on all the streaming services for one low annual fee of only $19.99 per year. You can upload as much music as you want for that one fee, which is a really, really awesome deal. It gets your music on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, TikTok, Instagram, pretty much anywhere music is streaming, DistroKid can get your music there for you for that one low annual fee. They also have tons of other great features, like getting you featured on Spotify playlists, as well as instant Spotify verification, which is a really, really cool feature. They also give you this awesome page called Hyperfollow, which is basically a web page that they create that has all of your streaming music links already auto-populated on there, and every time they add new stores, it just shows up at the bottom of your page. So all you have to do is share that one link with all of your followers for all of your streaming music. So anyway, check out DistroKid. There's going to be a link down below for 7% off that already low $19.99 annual fee. So check that out if you want to get a discount, and let's go ahead and get on with the video. Alright, so one of the things I wanted to talk about today was actually changing some heads on my electronic drum kit over here. Somebody asked in one of my last live streams about changing the heads on the Alesis Nitro Mesh, and really it's not that much different. So I'm going to show you how I changed them on this kit. You can follow these same steps even if you have a more traditional electronic drum set. It should work just fine. The heads I'm going to be putting on are these double ply Prism mesh heads, and I really, really love this company, Prism. They make really awesome heads. I'm not being paid to say that or anything. They're not even a sponsor. But I have one on this. Well, actually, these are all Prism heads except for the bass drum. But I just got this black triple ply Prism head for my snare drum. And so what I want to do is put these black double plies on the tops of my toms, and then I'm going to switch the white Prism heads to the bottoms, because right now I just have basically plain old Mylar heads that are cut out so the air can pass through, but I want to make it more, you know, just cool looking and stuff, so I'm going to have heads on both sides. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to show you guys how I do all that. And plus I want to show you something else, which some of you actually recommended, that I have this PTED-06 Pyle tabletop drum kit. And some of you were saying, you know, that I should maybe try some of these Rockband type pedals with it. And I ended up buying a couple of these. I found them used on eBay for pretty cheap, for basically $30 for two of them. So I'm going to show you the results of that here in a little bit too. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today, is just, you know, kind of various things here on some electronic drums. So let's go ahead and get started first with changing out the heads on my hybrid Tama Club Jam flyer. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with changing the heads. Now, this may be an obvious thing to some of you out there, but I wanted to show it anyways for those of you that have never done it before. Yeah, so basically what you're going to need is a drum key. And a drum key is just something, it's basically a little tool that goes on these little lugs on your drum. And whether you have an acoustic drum or an electronic drum with mesh heads, they all use this same key. So the Alesis Nitro Mesh will use a key just like this, and what you're going to do is, well, for me, I have to take this little thing off because this is my little rim silencer thing that I have on the edge there. But I'm just going to go around and loosen all these. And my trigger here is being held on, so I'm going to unplug that. But that's actually held on by the lug itself, so I have to unscrew that one too. And loosen all these up. And then it just comes right off. And you'll see the head is underneath the rim there. And like I said, even if you have a electronic kit, an Alesis, it's going to be pretty much the same. It may look a little bit different, but the concept is exactly the same. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to put that one on my bottom. Then I'm going to replace the top with this cool looking black one. I don't know why, I usually like white heads on my acoustic drums, but for some reason I thought the black, once I put it on the snare, I was like, that actually looks pretty cool. I kind of want to put it on everything, so that's why I went with the black heads for the tops. And these Prism heads, I'll put a link down below to the Prism website, because what's really nice is they actually have pre-packs specifically for the Alesis Nitro Mesh, if you have one of those kits. So you don't have to worry about picking sizes or anything like that. They just have it all picked out for you, and all you have to do is just order it, and they're very reasonably priced. And they look really nice. I like how there's no logos on them, because, you know, I'm not a big fan of logos, honestly. I mean, not many. I mean, a little bit is okay. Like, certain ones look cool. Like, I like the Tama logo, but I don't want them, still, I don't want them all over the place. Like, all right, that is that. So these black ones I'm putting on the tops are basically the same heads as the white ones I have on here right now. They're just black versions of them. That should be good. So now let's switch out the bottom head. I may need to change camera angles for this, so I'm gonna have to turn it over. All right, so right now on the bottoms, basically all I did was just take the regular Mylar heads that were on the Tama Club Jam already, and I just cut them out. Like, there's nothing there, but it's just a rim. So that way I could put the bottom rim still on the drum, and not have it, you know, not to have like any extra parts laying around or anything like that. So get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Put this on. And this is an 8-inch tom, in case you're wondering. Floor tom is a 10-inch, and my snare is a 10-inch. Now with tension on mesh heads, it's really just personal preference. I mean, you don't want them like with any wrinkles in them or anything like that, but personal preference and how the trigger reacts to it. So you kind of have to turn it on and figure out, you know, here, see if you have any double triggering. One thing I noticed is if you have your heads too tight, sometimes it can cause double triggering. But I think that feels okay. So there we go. Black on top, white on the bottom. Alright, now for the second part of this video is just to show you guys basically a little demonstration here. Now I have this Rockband pedal hooked up here to my homemade bass drum trigger that I rigged up for the Pyle PTED06, and they're both working really, really good like this. Now I did try the Rockband pedal as a bass drum pedal too, and it doesn't feel quite as good as the one that I made. If you missed the video on the one that I made, I'll post a video to that down below. Pretty simple design. It's basically just a switch that gets triggered by these two copper connections basically touching each other when you step down. because the triggering mechanism for the PTED-06 isn't actually a piezo, it's just a switch. So that's all you need to do is something like that, and the other pedal is the same too, but they have to be wired together because the input on this is only a single input. So, well, I explain all that in the other video, so watch the other video to learn how I did that, and let me just show you a little bit of playing with these pedals. Alright, that's going to be all for today's video, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload new content. Also, if you want to do me a big favor, go to the link down below and follow my other musical project called Manasota on Spotify. I have a new album coming out next month, and I want to make sure all of you get to hear it because I think it's going to be really good, and I think you're all going to really enjoy it. Also, don't forget to check out my sponsor, DistroKid. And sorry for the background noise. I have to have my AC on. It's just way too hot in here without it. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see y'all really soon. Have a good weekend.